This video is related to Kundalini awakening, and I was looking to it by many perspectives, and my understanding of it through the channeling experiences which I had with a variety of many beings, and also I have went myself through many energetical experiences. So always I think that it's really important to if somebody shares his personal experience other than experience written in that are those the experiences that are written in the books. So slowly we'll get into it, and right now at this moment I'm driving to my countryside where we'll be hosting another summer camp of learning to do channeling. So I think it's important also to know that energetical or Kundalini experiences, and I don't go by the name as I refer to it as a Kundalini experiences just by it that maybe the overall basics of that goes by the name Kundalini experiences are something other than this, but my experience would relate to it by name as having an energetical awakening experiences. So I have heard earlier that a Kundalini experience is when you feel a snake, which basically a snake like two energetical spirals that led up from the root chakra from the place where your root energy is stored. Basically, it's how I understood it is the place of red energy, and it's black and red like cherry, the dark red cherry like energy. I have seen this several times in meditations, and at one time I have really felt this energy, and it's like amazingly strong energy. I think women experience this energy when they get high anger, and then they are like, she will do it. She gets the something when a woman gives birth at the stages of giving birth to a child. I believe at those moments she also starts using that red energy which is stored in her root chakra. And this energy center, how I understood it, is the energy that transforms everything into matter. And this is a really, really strong energy in terms of we experience it as strong energy. And we get access to this energy in critical moments, or in those moments when we need it. And it's not the moments when we think we need it, it's those moments when we truly need it in the sake of universal perspective. And also at that moments when we learn how to guide these energies, we have learned how to use these energies. And we learn to use these energies just by having practices, and meditation and calmness, so the mind doesn't interrupt us when we are in an energetical practice. So, talking about the Kundalini awakening. So, one time we did channeling, and the people in the audience were asking me several questions to the beings. And one of them was describing the purpose of chakras or the chakra meanings, and then they started to like, they started from the base, and they said that root chakra is basically, and below it's only black energy below it, and we don't have this huge amounts of this black energy. It's basically in the more denser worlds. But the red energy is basically everything that exists in physical plane has this red chakra, this root chakra, which exists in very near the tailbone. And this root chakra has the energy stored in there, and it's completely balanced there. But we can balance and use this balance in the purposes that we wish to use it for. For example, one may think that we can use this energy for spiritual practices or for gathering strength, and so on and so on. So to use this, we have to start balancing this chakra to a different point of view, like accelerating this energy, enhancing this energy, using this energy. And when this energy accelerates, how I felt in the channeling state, when the being started to accelerate this or awake this energy or turn this energy on, was a really strange experience, and I was a little bit frightened from it because I have never felt anything like that earlier. And what I felt was they were like talking a root energy, and they were like, okay, we will activate this energy so that you can feel it. And the thing is, how they activated this energy is they activated this energy in my body, where the tailbone is. I saw and I felt that there is like a dark red, cherry dark red, like black, like shining like a rainbow. I don't know how you can explain it, but the root like energy that shines like a root. Basically, you've seen like a root of a tree or something that starts shining a little bit. And when it started to shine a little bit, I felt like I was turning into a metal. I felt my lips; they felt like metal. Skin in certain areas felt like metal and felt like a wumbling or a tingling or a bubbling feeling. It's a really strange feeling. And all my hair started to feel really, really, really strange. It felt like, I can explain, like under electricity also. And it's like this feeling. And what I felt at that point, when these spiritual people use this energy, they can manifest objects in their hand. Because when they use this energy, they can send this energy through their hand and manifest their imagined object in their hand. So basically what I understood from that point is that if I don't know how to balance this energy, it can like turn myself into a different object or my skin into different matters. And the opposite also, maybe I can just disrupt into a different matter or disappear. I felt, or turn into a smaller object or into a bigger object. It was like different feelings at that point. And at that point I started to like say, no, stop, it's getting really strange. And then they stopped, and the people in the audience, they were like also crazy. They felt this as a crazy experience. But later at later moment they didn't do anything. They just stopped and they were just giving brief information about the chakras. This gravel road is crazy. So talking about the Kundalini experiences. Now this was the experience which I just shared, was the experience shaking here. This was the experience which I had after the beginning of the channeling. And before I was channeling, I had many experiences, but at that point I didn't know what channeling is. What is channeling? So at that point, earlier in my life, I had even more stranger experiences, and my other friends who entered the channeling had also crazy experiences. Talking about those experiences was that, as far as I can remember, the most craziest experience, one of those experiences was the lotus flower on top of the head. And how I see the energetical activation of these experiences was that basically I concentrate on myself and do energy breathings a lot. And I will make this energy meditation a little bit later when I will not be driving. And at those points when I concentrate my energy, or whatever it is I want to concentrate that energy, those centers in that place start to activate. And by doing those energy breathings, you start to concentrate even more and more energy there. So what happens is that these energy centers start sending through more and more energy. They start like open up like. And when that happens, you can feel a crazy energy acceleration. And in the meditations, it's like it's no big deal. The energy goes up, the energy goes down, the energy goes left, the energy goes right. You feel it, and when normally when I do meditations, I feel how the energy goes from my feet I can guide it to the top of my head. When it enters the top of my head, I feel the channeling state opening up. And also the other people who I know who do channeling, they say that this is really how they feel. The channeling, entering the channeling state is like tremendous amounts of energy, like started to concentrate on top of their heads, which open up the channel. And basically, when I was doing healing several times, it's the same experience that while doing healing, you concentrate much energy on your palms, on your hands, and that energy starts activate there, and you start feeling a lot of more things through the with the hands, and you start sending through energy, guiding energy, cleansing energy, whatever the reason may be at that point. So talking about like easy Kundalini awakening states, I think everybody can experience this in a peaceful way, like guiding their energy up and down, feeling how the energy moves from their spines up and down, like tingling, energetical, energizing, electricity-like of feeling that goes up and down. And when it gets a little bit dosed, it gets like not like a tingling feeling, but feeling like if you send energy to the top of your head, it gets really dizzy, like whew, and you start like a little bit like. If somebody would ask you, read this sentence right here, you will need to concentrate really a lot to like start picking up or start understanding with your mind what is written there in the sentence. You're like floating a little bit. So this is a normal state, how normally a person enters the channeling state. So at these points, when I was younger, was doing lots of meditation and doing these kind of exercise, it was really a lot energizing over the head. And at one point, what happened is what was out of control was the top of the head opened up like a flower and started spinning around with the golden light, and that energy just from the top of the head went through in really high doses through my head, and creating like a feeling that I don't feel my body anymore, like under anesthesia. When you go to a dentist, they spring you, and when they spring you, you don't feel like the mouth region, whatever the dentist is doing at that point. So imagine the same, but you don't feel any like half of your body is completely like under anesthetic, but you can move it, you can use it, this, but you don't feel it, and it's causing like a huge energizing, overwhelming feeling, which caused me to also like worry. Okay, now what's going on? What will happen to me, and so on. And it maybe lasted for a week, and then it turned off. And then the next experiences which I had was the first channeling experience, and it was a highly crazy experience. Now it's a little bit more closer now to talking about Kundalini awakening, because that first experience like blowed up the sixth sense in a higher realm, in a higher density. I don't know how you call it. It really opened up the sixth sense so that I can use it for my day-to-day life, whatever I need it, or when I have the interest to do it. Because many times, if I don't have the interest, I do not use the energy, and it doesn't work at that point. But what happened then was not like when I felt the flower on top of my head, which is like rotating and shining in golden light, but I felt also like at first stages there's like energy which gives you the tinkling feeling, like tinkling. Many times at first they have like this, many people have like this pressure like feeling in their forehead or on the side of their heads, like something is like pushing finger inside. This has happened when they have this happened when they have resistance in their body. But when the resistance fades away or disrupts or is gone under different experiences or after a period of time, then the tingling feeling happens, like electricity tingling feeling, which goes through completely through the body. And when that experience happens, you may feel this energizing, tingling, electricity type of feeling, or Some may say also a feeling of vibration is rising, and so on, which is also correct, isn't wrong. I meant, but at that point, energy starts just cleansing your energy channels, which basically means the energy is starting to open your energy channels, or energy is going through your energy channels, and it creates this tinkling, energizing feeling. Oh, sorry. So I have been living in this for like 3 years by that point, at that time, and then all of a sudden the channeling state opened up, and at that point, what happened was I felt this huge. When the channeling happened, there's like a huge tunnel over my head, like you know, when you in these aqua parks, they have these tunnels when you slide through it. I felt the same feeling, but is if I'm myself going up to the top of the head through these aqua park tunnels, like, and then entering somewhere and connecting to somewhere, and it was like, and it was like feeling like insane, like oh, and all of a sudden the hands went like this, and they're like tuk 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 tuk. It's like a feeling of connection to something. And at that point, what happened is like tremendous amounts of energy went through top of my head, out through my feet. And I have repeated this several times without my feet touching the ground. And when this happens, I was like doing like a lotus position channeling. At that point, I felt like I need to touch something. I always need to touch something. At that point, like I want to hold on to something. And it's like a magnetic feeling that you want to hold on to the bed. And at that point, I realized I really want to hold it's like out of nowhere, I just want to hold the floor of the building, of the room which I'm in. And at that point I started to laugh, because okay, now I realize that the energy wants in a way to ground itself, but I don't know the reason why it wants to ground, but it just feels that I want to hold my hand down on the ground. So at that point I realized that really I need to touch my feet down to the ground. And when I did that, it became not so overwhelming, but it started to like flow more and more through. So sorry. So what happened later, at the same time, is that energy from the top of the head really starts accelerating, and going more and more overwhelming through your body in higher and higher doses. And if you are not ready for this, the body starts taking action, like resisting to itself, like sweating, getting extremely dizzy, getting panics, getting fear attacks, getting all sorts of crazy feelings. At the beginning, when I had this, I will use the term now, Kundalini awakening, was that you feel all cells of your body. Not, you don't feel it like every other cell, but you feel that all cells of your body just start to take like some kind of reaction to this energy. And they start, at first my body started to a little bit like stink. Like, huge amounts of dirty sweat is coming out. It's like huge amounts of cleansing starts to happen. And it the all cells just like squeeze everything outside. I was like, I needed to drink a lot. It's like, like in a strong sauna, when you enter, lots of sweat are coming out. And in the sauna, you need like to drink water, and but the sweat were dirty. They were not clean. And my mouth, I felt like so much, like what at that point I realized is that we eat so much dirty food, like chemical food, like with this palm oil and so on, that the food stays in our cells. It's like poison our cells. And at that point, what I felt is this energy. First things first, you need to release rid of these unpleasant chemicals that exist in your body, like these squid, not like squid, like just like dirt. You need to get rid of this dirt, and the body was squeezing it out. At that point, I didn't pay attention, but I needed to drink a lot of water. That's what I needed to do, drink a lot of water, but I didn't pay attention to it, and that was my mistake. Because in order to have this like cleansing, I needed to drink a lot. because the energy is taking action really strongly. And at that point also, what relates to Kundalini awakenings is you have to be ready for this. You have to be truly in your energy senses ready for that. Because if you're not ready for it, you will have horrible roads here. You will have fear attacks, panic attacks, all these emotional outbalances that can highly affect you. Like feeling of panics, like feeling of fears, like feeling of emotional stress, doing something. And how I see result of it is because your energy nerve system is not ready to take these energy transformations so strongly, and the nerve system cannot handle that much energy. So it starts like giving you impulses of panic attacks. It's like the signs that there are a couple of channels here that are not ready yet. Okay, something is really noisy in the back. I will go and check whether everything is right. Okay, so the back of the wheel, the trailer support wheel, was lowered down and it caused a huge noise. So yeah, so you have to be ready for the awakening, and it happens slowly. Now, but what happened at that point was that these high amounts of energy that come through, they burst through your pineal gland. They burst through your higher senses. They actually the pineal gland is the case of sixth sense. But it's a much greater tool than just that. The human body is tremendously intelligent. I have the wow, how cleverly and how detailedly the human body is designed. It's like it's a complete and a massive high-tech artwork. I was like thinking in one sense. Well, imagine. We make everything from computers right now. We make everything from the technology is based on metal and stuff. But imagine tree or flowers or grape tree or everything. It's in a certain, we call it nature, but in a certain level, this is the next phase of human evolution to develop such things. Because it's a completely incredible technology that gives you food, and it's so integrated into the environment. It lives on water, it lives on sun, it lives on the elements that exist in the environment. And it not also lives on the environment, it also gives the environment back. Like, when a tree dies, it gives back the soil, like the tree itself becomes the soil. When a tree dies, you can use this material for your sake of like building or your sake of burning for house heating and so on. And not only that, the trees can also give fruit so that the bees, the animals, and you can eat. So it's such a high developed technology, and you don't need to take care of it. It grows in the wild nature. It just grows. It just completely sufficiently exists. We cannot create a robot or a technology that does that, but certainly if we could, it's definitely that people would make this, will make and use this. So it's a high quality future technology that we can develop the genetics to create a self-manageable tree or a self-manageable human form or self-manageable technology that is so in harmonious with the environment and doesn't use energy as like electricity or diesel or something. So I was like amazed that basically this is the next phase of technology that we will have. Well, it doesn't mean that the only technology, but the next phase of technology as a way of using technology. So so talking about the Kundalini, it burst up the pineal gland, and basically what does it just the energy that came through activated the inner organs, which basically is the pineal gland. And well, I have never used or smoked or any weed or anything like this. I don't know even how to smoke. I have never tried, and I don't use any substance of it, and I have never used. So I will not classify what do shamans do or what I think they do. I will not give any of my opinions of it. But what happened in the experience is that basically you have a really powerful, not only energy that's going through you, which gives you like dizziness, like a floating feeling all the time, but also gives you constantly understanding about several topics that your mind puts into. It's like you have this question in your mind, but when you have these amounts of energies, you don't have the question into words, you have the question into feelings. The energy gives you a feeling and you guide yourself using those feelings. It's like many times when you think, we use our own language to think, like, oh, what am I doing, what will I do, and you use your words you somehow speak with yourself in your thinking. But when you have this energy awakening, when you have this energy awakening, or this energy acceleration feeling, you don't use words in your thinking. You always use your feeling, your sensation and your feelings. Like you start to use energy, and energy is that causes you to feel. And in those feelings, you somehow remember or reconnect to a memory, or you reconnect to a question that is there as a feeling, and you just start receiving like amounts of dozens and dozens understandings, whatever you guide your feelings to it. It's like, in a sense, you're guiding your inner sixth sense to guide you through to informational fields. It's like a part of you somewhere exists in the informational fields, and you use your senses to guide it. Like, okay, what happened at this point? What happened at that point? You're like bruising this incredibly huge informational field, and the images which you are perceiving with visions and understanding. You don't receive it, okay, hi dear friend, you do this and that. You just receive the understanding, you just know it. And after a certain point, when you, for example, receive one thing, then another thing, and it gives you a high energetical experience, that after minutes or more you want to stop it, and at that point you don't know how to stop it. You want to stop it, but if you get overdosed into it, you don't know how to stop it. You get panicky, you get dizzy, you get sweating, you go for a walk, you cannot go to sleep, you're anxious, you're in an anxiety that you want to stop, but you don't know how to stop. And it's a crazy experience. And at this point, all you need to remember is, people say you need to ground yourself, but I don't know the reason and why do they say it and the understanding of it. But I certainly know that you have at that point so much energy within you that you need to just go for a walk in the nature, and the nature will take off the overwhelming energy that you have. It will take off of it, and the nature will take it. It's like it will balance out. It's like something when you connect two batteries together. If it's one fully charged, the other is half charged, they will balance the charge of itself out, or something like straight, like 2 cups of water. If you connect to them, they will balance out, and the nature does the same. If you have a lack of energy, you go to nature. The nature gives you energy, but if you have less energy, the nature will give you energy. But if you have too much energy, the nature will take away from you. It's like the balancing out the energies. Okay, so I will stop for a moment here, and then I will continue to talk. How the third eye got burst open, and how the third eye works. I've created different videos earlier, so I don't want to repeat this information just for you also, that some of them are listening all of those videos. In fact, here in Latvia, several times people say that they have listened to all my videos, and I'm not sure, but there are 1,100 videos or 1,050 videos, something like this. And imagine one video is nearly 1 hour. How can you even listen to all of those videos, like thousands of hours, like weeks and weeks? So, but anyway, I'm surprised that actually somebody is listening to this. But the third eye, how I see it, is an organ that releases a chemical liquid, maybe scientifically called it DMT, but I didn't receive any names of this liquid other than the function of this liquid. And this liquid, when the organ is activated, this liquid goes through all of your brain and then through all of your body, causing the body to feel and the mind to feel energy and translate this energy into a mind understandable form. It's like, well, basically converting energy format to a digital format that basically the mind can understand. And what then happened at that period, and how I know at certain periods, is that to activate this third eye, you need to concentrate lots of energy, and you need to have this energy. You need to receive this energy to use this third eye. Because many of us, we do day-to-day work, and we are always frustrated in our work, and we are tired, and we don't have the energy even to do some kind of energy practices, such as like even meditation. We always think about something and use our whole energy in other forms, in other ways. But if we store and save our energy, just relax, keep chill, and do meditation to gather more energy, this energy gets stored, and we can use it later as energy experiences. And by saying energy experiences, they are many energy experiences that one may have. It's like reading information, getting information, doing healing for other persons, doing channelings, and so on and so on. So there's not like one particular function of the pineal gland or the third eye. So what happens at that point, what I experience, is that these amounts of energy, first of all, they cleansed out cell to cell my body, like helped my body to be clean from all dirty chemicals. And also it gave the energy for the third eye to work, and the third eye started to work in higher amounts of energy. But at that point it was like difficult to understand, because at some point you receive high amounts of understanding, and then at some point your mind kicks in and it's like, hey, is this for real? Is this happening for real? And then at another point also the information starts coming how the mind works. And you get like, if you need to be in a balanced, in a calmness state, and need to reduce your mind activities. Otherwise, it's like a stumbling blocks that jump into your process of energy practice and in your process of energy reading. So, in other words, to be ready, you also be ready that you learn and you know how to calm down your mind. So, and what happened at that point, and now I know for sure that there are these high developed spiritual beings that they can easily read your mind. And there are these highly developed spiritual beings that understand English without any readings of it. They have so much energy within them, they can easily connect to that informational field, and they just understand. Because many people talk with feelings, they talk and they send out a feeling, what they are talking about. And they just read your feeling, and they understand the word to word what you are saying, and even more. They understand what you are feeling by default. So at that point, what I felt was in that state of Kundalini awakening, and that awakening lasted for like 3 months or more. And now it's in a calm state, in a really calmness state. And what those people feel at that point is, what I felt at that point was, first of all, numbers not only represent numbers, but they represent of meaning of something. Numbers are itself are an energy form that represent energy sensation and meaning, so that you can translate it and understand it from numbers. And well, that was crazy. Colors have a meaning, an energetical meaning also. At that point, I'm looking at numbers and colors, and a huge information is coming through. And then I asked about the digital world. How is the digital world? It's like computers, and they just started sending through information about all digital worlds. That at some point digital world was only 2 dimensions, but at some point when the digital numbers and pixels realized that they can be that they can have an image that they can transcend through, and they have like a three-dimensional image that they can, through the pixel layouts, they can perceive and understand. They started sending through 3D images. The pixel world realized that they can be a three-dimensional, not a two-dimensional like wide and height, but dimension to it also. And at that point, the digital world expanded into three-dimension digital worlds. And then also the numbers understood that they could be understood as a graphics and three-dimensional graphics. And it was like crazy. It was like it sent through so much information about how was the universe made, how was the world made, it was like tremendous amounts of information blasting through. Of course, later when you try to grasp with your mind what the hell had just happened or what's going on, the mind jumps in and the mind gets like thinking about so many things instantly. It's like, I'm getting crazy or what's going on. And at that point you need to realize that you need to send and calm your mind. Because at that point also many other beings jump in. High density beings, physical density beings, your dead people that have passed away, they just jump into your channel, in your informational field, you jump and connect with them. It doesn't matter how it happens, because if they want to jump in, you feel that somebody wants to go into you with the channeling state, and you choose if you want and if you don't want to. And at that point there was like a famous, which I have maybe seen one time in my life, author, like just like an author who writes poems and stories and stuff. He jumps in and we're like, okay, I know that you want to jump in, what do you want to tell? And I see him in a different world. He's sitting as normally he would sit, and I can tell by his character that he is a calm person. That there are a couple of friends who I know and who you know, like you have contact with them, and I just want to tell them this, and it's your choice whether you want to tell them or you don't want to tell them and so on. But they gave so much information that was like amazed, and then the next person comes in. Instantly what I knew, what I can tell about the Kundalini awakening is that it's a much more than just a spiral feeling that I have read somewhere. It's much more, but the certain thing is that you need to be aware and you need to be ready for this. And ready for this doesn't mean like, okay, I have meditated for a couple of weeks, I think I'm ready for this. But you have to be emotionally, physically, and spiritually ready for this. You have to have the understanding that if, for example, a higher being jumps in, it can bring so much higher understanding about the whole universe and your existence itself that it can just blast away your all of your concepts that you have had, and it can be truly shaking and unpleasant, and not talking about energy also, but in a way of your physical health, such as mental health. It can be like, if you talk about this to somebody else, they can surely assign you to take some medication, like so in other words, you want to have this harmonious experience. You yourself have to be as a harmonious person, a calm and harmonious person, because you can achieve this state. And also, I do not suggest, because I know many people in my age, they use like they smoke weed, they use like marijuana and such things. Stay away from them, because they may enhance a certain experience and a certain feeling, but when it gets to a long-term experiences, they have huge side effects that can easily take you away from any harmonious experiences that one may have. But in other words, if you are a highly developed being or close to that, and you know how to control yourself, or you have a certain understanding how to balance this thing out, then a little like tiny small dose. For example, if I have been I do not recommend anybody to do this, and I suggest stay away from this. But if you are a type of person that, hey, you're talking against my own belief systems, then I suggest because many times when I'm off the channel for a longer period of time, like a month, like for example, like now, it's for me it's a little bit harder to get back into this state, because I need to have certain meditations and a certain period of time for these meditations. Then I slowly receive this energy back. And when I receive this energy back, then it's much easier for me as like get a glimpse or get a taste back how it was to do actually the channeling. So in other words, that small tiny dose, whatever the thing one uses, for example, even on celery, like the fruit, the celery root, can enhance your channeling abilities. Like take it fresh or freshly, quickly boiled bouillon soup. It can enhance also your channeling abilities. So what I want to say is that I suggest at those periods, well, maybe a tiny dose, but the overall best dose for keep yourself in balance and harmonious state is meditation and getting back into meditation and no thought states. So now talking about the spiral, I have never actually felt this spiral as something tremendously huge, although now the information is coming that I do have received, and I receive it all the times when I enter the channeling, is that at certain points I concentrate on my root chakra, which basically is the hip region, and on the top of the head just jumps up like this, like shakes or moves, jumps out. And at that point, what I feel is like a small, tiny energy balls. I need to pass this car, but the trailer is shaking. So that's a focus right now. Okay. But anyway, I will not drive that fast. So what I want to say is that energy is concentrated there, and then some doses it hits the forehead, top of the head open, and then I feel that my back straightens up and does like this. So in a sense, this may be this spiral way, because sometimes I feel it like a spiral and then pops out. But what I do feel is that energy comes from your root chakra, and it straightens the back muscles and concentrates energy on top of the head. So in a sense, it bursts open your top of the head for you to do the channeling experience. So in a way, I would say I feel it. I experience this nearly all the times when I do channeling or deep meditation states. But what I have seen is from videos or from somewhere what I have heard is it's something different. I believe it's something different. Maybe it's the same what I'm talking about, but maybe the spiritual masters that have existed like earlier in our world or still exist in this world, they have much more and a deeper experienced this in a much more, in a way, professional way, that they have brought through these knowledges, describing this as the way they describe it. But when I do channeling, many times when I do channeling, the beings referred to as much of that information which exists in our world is just written down by that somebody said like this. That also they said that history many times it's being sponsored by other, like universities and such like this. They're being sponsored by, and they have to give a good story about history. They need to have a story, because whatever and who sponsored this history group of people, they wish to have like a good story what happened in the history. And so many of those stories and articles right here in the modern times are just written nice stories that sound believable, although also you may understand that history is a much there have been millions of people living in history, and every of that person's story is a huge story. So telling about the overall history is nearly impossible, because there's so much that has happened in our history, and in so many different times, it's not even graspable. It's so impossible to even write down all of that. And It's like another interpretation about what is going on. So, in other words, in simple words, there is no history. There is just a perspective about the history that has been, and so much of the history or the knowledge that we have here is just a nice story that we can read. And so what Enrico all the time has been saying in the channeling is what I now only come across and accepted to believe is true, that the only spiritual lesson that you need to have, and the only spiritual lesson you need to learn, is live your excitement and live your life in the now state. Don't complicate your life. Don't have these millions of concepts that you may have. The overall highest knowledge about spirituality is living the moment at the highest possible energy that you can live this moment. And there you don't need to transcend to any other dimension. You don't need to transcend to higher dimension. You need to have a higher energy experience. Because if you are living in your truly excitement, and you are living out your highest excitement, and you're living out your joyful life in the now, all that spirituality and all the qualities that you need will come to you in a complete natural state. And when you are ready and you wish to receive more spiritual experience and understandings, they will come to you in the way that's supposed to come to you, in a way that's most pleasant to you. So this is a high recipe, but it's also a complex recipe, but also a really, really easy recipe for everybody. So, in other words, I hope this video, this 1 hour long video, helped you to understand this Kundalini experience from my perspective, my understanding, and also similar these experiences to people that have come to my channeling lessons and experienced the channeling states, which I know in person, and close friends. They describe the same. They have went to the same experiences, so or nearly the same, or really, really similar experiences. That's why I didn't use the time to describe their experiences. But if you write in comments that you wish to have like their story also, that I will also share their story, what they have went through, my close friends. And so yeah, so keep in touch, write in comments if it's necessary, and I will create a video about them. And have now the really nice things what I've experienced lately. I don't know about your country, your region, but here in Latvia I saw a first electronical bus, and I was like, yes, the ecological stuff, the earth, nature stuff is giving we are giving the nature a chance to live out this difficult period. And I was like, it's a sound of victory. It's the sound of victory. It's like, I don't know, in my heart I felt huge like joy, but it's like my soul is laughing, not like my soul is joying. And I know without any doubts that, but from the future channelings which I have, that this is only the first glimpse of huge changes. So sit back, enjoy the ride, because the changes will be not like okay, now we change to convert to a diesel to electrical motors and so on, but there will be huge changes. I don't want to give you any like this glimpse of information, because for you to have this excitement to live out without any knowledge what's going on is tremendously like an exciting ride. But if you wish, I can create also another video. Just write in comments, because when you write comments I receive that information, so I can pick up what you are interested in. And also, if you write in comments questions in my website, also join my website, write there questions, because there is a special section, questions and answers, and that I watch in there from time to time. And yeah, so that's a good way to stay connected and putting out your information that you need from my own personal experience. And also remember, the most valuable thing that one may have in sake of spirituality, throw away all those millions of books. Just burn them, throw it away. Burn all the knowledge you may have. Burn everything. Just throw away. And stay away from them. because the most important thing is your personal experience and personal understanding through that personal experience. And when you have an experience that, oh my God, I don't understand what's going on, you will have the feeling to go and learn, to go and read and pick up that information which resonates with your experience. So don't go ahead of experience. First of all, have experience, and then try to find information that resonates with your experience that you had, to give you like a calmness. Okay, now I understood. Okay, I'm just going to a certain state of phase, and everything is fine. Everything is completely fine. Okay, so let's quit this talk. I know that you are an exciting person. I know that you are a highly exciting person. I know that you are living in a highly interesting place, an exciting place. But if you think otherwise, it's because you think otherwise. Stop thinking otherwise. Start living out the... stop allowing yourself to think otherwise, because this is only an energetical form, and this is only your thoughts. Just delete them, erase them, because understand that once you have erased all those conceptual thoughts and statements that now I feel bad and so on, when you erase all of that, when you erase all the classification of how this moment feels, when you erase everything of that, then the truest and most cleanest joy starts arising, that you start receiving joy from all of those moments in your life, and then you are happening. And then you are in a truly, pure life excitement and life enjoyment state. And keep this state, stay in this state. And allow to understand yourself that when you are in this state, synchronicity and miracles start to happen. And they happen because you start to, from this state, you are like in the train where the universe takes you. Don't jump out of this train by feeling otherwise, like feeling bad and so on. Allow this train, and you understand that you are the driver of this train, and you, with your feelings and your visions and your inner feelings, allow this train to go, and your life takes you to a direction where you feel and where you want to go. You don't use your mind to understand how I will get there. You just allow the universe to take you there. And the universe takes you there by only you having this joyful feeling. Because at one moment you will have the joy, like, oh, I had the joy to go outside and to play with flowers. I had this joy for like 20 minutes. But now I have the highest joy to drive around and to meet a couple of my friends. Because it's the new connection. And new excitement guides you to the connection that you need to connect with those people, and the next moment to connect to the next moment, to the next moment, to the next moment, which connects you to that moment where you wish to be, in which you be, or the richness, or the wealthness, or the friendshipness, or the joyfulness, or the good lifefulness, or the friend type ofness, whatever the moment may be. So, recommendations: live your life with the excitement. And when you are in the excitement, allow your feelings to guide you, to guide this train, wherever it might take you. So, thank you for listening, and goodbye. Hello everybody, I just wanted to show you how you can find my online meditation videos, which are on my website. You just go to artofpeace.info, and then you go to English, click on the English flag, and then just go down, and here are the meditations. For example, 30-minute peace and no thought meditation, and this is a really powerful meditation. You just open it and you can start watching it online. For this video is for free, and this is what I want to show you. And I have lots of more videos on Enrico's school, which I later will be posting more and more videos. Meditation, channeling, and chi energy, but that's slowly. So by the time you're looking this, maybe there are more videos, maybe there are less videos, and I'll be posting this summer also channeling lesson videos here, that you can learn channeling, intuition, and feeling energies much better yourself, everything online. So thank you for watching, and see you guys soon in another video.